Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 5 in the Systematic Factory. We are still waiting on the new update to be kind of finished up. I mean, the new update is out and live now, but I've been having issues with it crashing just the update without any mods in it. And it's even worse if I try to put any of the mods I have in it. And so we're just going to be patient and wait for a few more days to see when a new fix comes out and go from there. But we are gonna, the goal going forward is going to be to keep this map and do some changes to add in the new features, and all the new changes will come when we update to the new version. So like the new critter mechanics and the new buildings and the research for them will be automatic, but the new story trait features we'll have to edit into the map, and we'll take care of that behind the scenes and try to get that to work, and hopefully that will all work just fine. I do like that they added in the ability to use the sandbox mode to add it in. I'll have to do some behind the scenes stuff to try to make it so that we can still get achievements even though we're doing that, because while I don't think you should be able to get achievements when you have used the debug mode, I think adding in the new building doesn't really count as a cheat. One quick thing I did before, in between the episodes, is I added in a new storage bin here, and I set bleach stone to it with a high priority. And so this storage bin stays under the water here in our storage, and anything that, or any bleach stone it puts in it won't off gas because it's inside of water. And so now, instead of me having to search out the bleach stone and get it off and put it in, the duplicants are running out to find it around wherever we dig it up and grabbing it and run it and putting it away. So that's a little quality of life improvement. We don't have to keep looking for chlorine off gas. And so this system shouldn't have too much chlorine to deal with much anymore once they get it all picked up. I guess I need to get them away over here to get the styles off of this oil fissure. Today we're going to focus on a bunch of things, but we're going to try to get our automation slowly installed now that we have mechatronics engineer. We're going to try to remove some duplicant labor for that, but we're also going to focus on some things that during the course of the first 68 cycles we just kind of were rushing because we were trying to make sure we would get the carnivore. Now I feel a little more confident that we will, and so we don't need to worry about whether or not we're going to make it. We can start going back and making things work a little more efficiently. One big change I want to make, and I didn't think of this until just today, is that I had set up pooling water from here thinking that would save us from having to sieve it, and I think that that's a mistake because it's really cheap to sieve this. I have lots of sand to do it. And the difference is that the water I get from here is going to be 70, 75, 76 degrees. The water I get from here, it's only going to be 22 degrees. And while in the electrolyzer, anything under 70 is about the same, having this cold water go through our base and be used for other things, like when we do plumbed toilets, is going to be much better. Because if we send hot water into here and then we send that hot water back out to go to crops are going to stifle and things like that. So I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to install a new system in here, and we're going to use that to send water throughout our base. Okay, we have gotten our sieve up and running. Took a little bit to get some power. We had to go get some more copper so we could run all the wiring, which is good. We needed the copper anyway. We have a tank here that pulls in polluted water. Oh, wrong button. And then it gets sieved and it creates cool, regular water, clean water. And we now have that connected, and that's the water that's getting fed into our electrolyzers and then turned into oxygen and hydrogen. So that's all finished. We can now, and I also kind of started making a pond here. We can go up and collect all of this polluted water and let it come down to here. This should hold us for a long period, and then we'll find a source for either polluted water that's cold or something else to get cold water for us. In the long term, we'll have to come up with a solution other than the sieve, so we don't need to use filtration medium, but it'll be a long time before that's a big issue. So that's done. In that time, we also got all of this installed down here. So let's set this up. We're going to do, let's just do everything. Everything gets swept into here. It will all get pulled over and dropped off here where everybody can access it. But that way, nothing is sitting in here in these rooms. The next bit of automation I want to do for in here is automating filling up the critter feeders. So we'll get that set up. But before we do that, I want to put the automation in for our Pacu farm so we can stop having duplicants move the eggs around. So we are going to do... Oop, I'm on the wrong thing. We're going to do conveyor loaders under each of these sections. And then we're going to do an auto sweeper in each of our fish ponds. Now we just need to get some power to connect those all up. Looks like we're going to need to get a ladder out here so that they can get this one on the outside. And then the last thing we need for that is shipping rails. And we're just going to bring them up here. And for now, we'll go right here. And we'll put in this one. Now, once they're up here, remove these ladders because they're in my way. Oops. We're going to have some more shipping rails. We're going to have one for regular eggs, one for the other types of eggs, and then that's it for now. And we're going to do some rails for those. This one is going to go to right here, where there'll be a conveyor chute. And this one is going to go above that to here, where we'll put in a conveyor chute. And so the tropical and the gulp eggs will come over here so that when they come through, they will land right in this pond and we don't have to worry about them getting into our breeding ponds. And again, this whole system is going to change once the new mechanics come out, but I figured we would wait until they come out so we can try to figure those out together. So once we get that installed, the last thing we need is an auto sweeper. Need some more cobalt for that, but we're low on cobalt ore. Let's see. Is there an easy access to some? There's some down here. Let's dig a ladder down. And then we can start taking off this layer here to make a polluted water pond down here. Access all of this. Oh, nobody's able to get over to here. Probably half the reason we are out of cobalt, because there's a bunch up here that they could access if they had a ladder. So we put these ladders in, they'll be able to get over here and grab all this stuff and start digging for more. And that will be good. This whole thing is now able to be gone. So let's remove that. For now, I'm going to leave this up here so I can have somewhere to empty the water. So we'll let them work on that, and we'll get this all installed, and we'll be ready to do the next step. I've gotten a lot of the automation installed so that things are running pretty smooth. We have a solid amount of barbecue and cooked seafood, so we're set. We're going to keep going towards carnivore pretty quick. Let's check it out, the achievement. We did finish locavore, which is great. Carnivore, we're at 257,000. We have 23 cycles remaining, and we have 17 dupes eating meat and nothing but meat. I have disabled all the other food types, so they're only eating cooked seafood and barbecue. So we're set. That's going to be just a matter of time for us to do it. One thing I did notice while I was doing some work, I was digging out a pit down here to get some more cobalt and things, and when I was digging over here to get copper, and when I was over here we're getting things done quick because we have 17 duplicants, but we're not getting things done very efficiently. We have duplicants that should be doing, well, now we're done with research, but they should be doing research that are out digging, and we have ranchers out digging. And that's because one of the things that kind of fell by the wayside while we were getting set up is setting our priorities. And we'll be okay in the short term for that, but things will really quickly get, will start falling behind if we get into the later game and we don't have priorities set. Let's get rid of that. So I'm going to take some time and go through and redo all the priorities for all of our duplicants and get them set up in a really good way. I had tried to do some different things before, but I'm going to change it up and do it in a much more simple way. But I'm going to do that off screen, and then I'll come back once I have it all figured out. I have gotten a pretty good setup for our duplicants now. So I have basically 3 teams. I have the dig team, I have the cooking team, the food team, and I have the supply team. And to make it fun, I named them after different cartoon shows. So the digging team is my Rick and Morty team. So I got Beth, Jerry, Morty, Mr. Poopy Bee, Rick, and Summer. I need a name for this one, my researcher. Let's see. About bird person. That'll fit the theme. And then for our cooking team, our food team, we have 2 cooks, Bob and Linda. And then we have Jean, Luis, and Tina as my ranchers. Little Bob's Burgers action going on. And then for our supply team, since they're our delivery boys, I did Futurama. So I have Fry, Bender, Leela, Zoidberg, and Amy Wong. And then when it comes to certain things, I have specialized them. So Zoidberg is my doctor. So he has maxed out in doctoring. Nobody else can do it. And as far as cooking, I have my 2 cooks that are maxed out in that. Nobody else does it. Same with decorating. I thought it would be funny to make Bender my artist since he's a robot. And then research, just the 1 researcher. And finally, ranching, we have it set so just our ranchers can ranch. Wouldn't really need to do that because nobody else can do it because, you know, same with all of them. Only people who have the skill can do it. But this way, it's easy to see who's doing what. I do have a couple that I need to fix. Jerry, I have been putting into the dig team all along. He's got super hard digging, but he can't build. So I probably will scrub him and move him to another team and rename people. And same with, I guess that was it. The Linda, the cook, is not able to do any building, but doesn't matter. She's not supposed to be. So basically, the school of thought is the diggers are all set to high on build and dig. So they go out and do the building and digging. The rest of them are set on low, so they don't do it. They stay around and do the base stuff. And this is low priority, so if there's nothing else to do, they might run out to do something. This should be, oh no. Yeah, this should be down. The only difference is that Fry is my mechatronics, so I have him up in building because I want him to go down and build my mechatronic stuff. Otherwise, he will, if I have this set to low, he's going to go and he's going to do all the life support, he's going to do all the tidying, he's going to do all the storing before he goes and puts in my mechatronic stuff. I'll probably get a couple more mechatronics operators and do the same thing, and we'll see how that works, but we're gonna let it go and see if those priorities work. And then I named it the way I did so that their job is first, so that it's real easy to see them in here. They're grouped by their jobs, and so I can very easily assign skill points as I want to without having to put too much thought in it, so we can spend more time in the game doing the fun stuff. So we're going to let that go and see how those skill points work out and those priorities to get things done in a more efficient manner than it was. And also, since we have people who are skilled into the jobs, doing the jobs, they will gain more experience in the right areas, and so their attributes will go up where I want them to. The idea is to have it so when I send out a building and digging team to build a project far away from the map, they fly through it, so I don't have to constantly have them running back and forth, taking hundreds of cycles to get done what should only take a few cycles. So that's the plan. And then if you saw, there was certain ones on the supply team that are specialized. So like my doctor and my artist and the mechatronics, they're still on the supply team. So when they're not doing the mechatronic stuff or the doctoring or the artwork, they are just off handling the base. I probably am going to add to this team the most right now so that I can have people that can keep things up around the base. But we shall see. Definitely feel that the base is running a lot more efficiently. Things are just getting done quickly. We're not worrying about who's going where. Things are not sitting around waiting to get done. Our farms are working really well. We're building up our stone hatch population. We've gotten quite a bit of meat products already. We finished the automation here in the Pacu farm, and I'm not going to go too much into this because it's all going to have to change in a few episodes because of the new update. But the way this currently works is these 4 breed, all of these eggs get taken out, they get dropped here, the fry eggs get shipped to here, the rest of the eggs get shipped over here, so the gulps and the tropical fries just land in this pond. These bounce across and fall in here to refill the ponds as we need to. Right now I switched over to feeding them water weed seeds because I have a bunch of extra ones. And I'll have to set up a farm to provide them with food. And I'll probably work on converting this into a tank that only holds the 4 and see how many, how much cooked seafood we get out of that. We may need to expand the farm, but in the exchanges they made to the way that this works, they also made it so that the food mechanics are different. So I think it's supposed to be more balanced. Hopefully it is, and we can just build up a farm to provide seeds for our fish and get enough cooked seafood. In the long term, the goal is to have barbecue from the hatches and cooked seafood from the fish to make surf and turf. And then once we get to the new update, we'll be able to use the dehydrator to store that food instead of doing a deep freeze. I'm probably still going to build a deep freeze to store ingredients because I enjoy doing that, and it's not super difficult once we get into industry. The next thing we want to work on here in our base is our bathroom needs to be switched over to a plumb system. So we have water coming in here now from the polluted water pond. So if I remove, I'm just going to remove one of each of these so I can switch it over to a plumb toilet, and then we'll run all our piping, and then we can switch it after that. Poor dude's using the bathroom while somebody's tearing it down. What a day. So basically the wash basins get replaced by sinks, and the outhouses get replaced by lavatories. And then what we need to do is do piping. We'll come in this way and bring clean water in for each of these. Oh, actually, you know what? I did this wrong. Let me deconstruct this one. When I was using outhouses and wash basins, I had more outhouses than wash basins. And the reason for that was because if an outhouse hadn't been cleaned, I wanted to make sure there was still at least 3 outhouses clean, because each schedule there's 3 duplicants maximum, or there was, and we didn't want them to not have a place to go to the bathroom. So we didn't have to have more than 3 wash basins because only 3 of them would be coming through, but we had more than that in outhouses because if one of them was down, then we still had extras. The lavatories aren't going to go down unless the whole system goes down. So now we're going to have 5 of each. 5 sinks, 5 lavatories. That means this bathroom will be able to support up to 5 duplicants per schedule. And since I have 6 schedules where the bathrooms are all separate, that means that can support, with just this one bathroom, 30 duplicants, which is probably more than I'm ever going to go to. As far as, especially as far as just on this one colony. If I have other asteroids, I may have more duplicants in the future, but... Okay, so then that means this one should be a sink. What we need to do is have an outline going up here. And so it's going to be from each of these spots here. And since we already have a polluted water pond and it's very close to us, all we're going to do is come over here. We'll do a bridge. We'll bring this down here. And we'll put a vent. That means that they will, all of our sewage will go out and get dropped into the polluted water pond, and then it will then get cleaned by the sieve and brought back into the system. Easy peasy. We'll end up with a lot of germs in here, but I don't really care about germs. Germs mechanics don't really do much to cause a problem. If they ever do, then I'll worry about it. For now, especially in the early game, not a problem at all. Okay, so now we have this one here is installed, and this one here is installed. So let's remove this one, and this one, this one, and this one. We'll get all of those replaced. We're doing them like a couple at a time because I have people actively going to the bathroom. I don't want to have people making a mess all over the place that I have to clean up. Even though with our priorities the way they are, things are getting installed quickly, which I like. And then plumbing, lavatory. These I'm going to do a high priority sweep. So I want to get all that polluted stuff out of here. So it's not off-gassing in the base. We'll set this one the correct way. All that does is makes it so that when they're leaving the bathroom, they use the sink, but not when they come in. Okay, so we'll take out 2 more of these. I have nowhere to go with polluted water. Do I not still have this working? Oh, it's because it's being actively used. Get those 2 installed, and then we'll remove this one, and then we'll be all done with setting up our plumbed toilets. Which means we'll go to a washroom bonus instead of a latrine. As soon as that gets removed. Which gives us an extra morale, which is definitely helpful. And so, like I said, now we have enough so that these toilets, we can have 5 duplicants go into the bathroom at the same time. Realistically, we could probably go even higher than 5 because they have enough time during their downtime that they could wait until somebody's done in the bathroom and then take a spot. But 5 is comfortable. Like, we could have 30 duplicants on our roster and have no problems with our bathrooms whatsoever. So that is a great improvement. And I'm going to do another sweep command high level in there. So I'm going to get all that polluted dirt out of there and taken away. Who made a mess? Why you make a mess? There's a bathroom right there. Why is there no bathroom? Oh, that's my fault. I did not connect the water. None of you can go to the bathroom. My bad. We're going to have a couple people doing that while the water flows in. That was just a silly mistake that should not have happened. But now the bathrooms are working. You can see because there's water in the things above them, they're filling up. And they're getting flushed. Great. Okay, so now we just have a little bit of mess to clean up because, silliness. Clean all this up. Clean up down here. Clean up on Isledom. Let's see. I need to get some pots hanging in here. Should have done this a long time ago. use my extra crops to turn this into a great hall. But I didn't have a great need and there was more pressing issues. We're going to put some plants in here. Let's see, I don't have any buddy buds. I don't have any bliss burst. I have mirth leaf. I'm just going to use some briar seeds. Briar seeds are nice because they have a really good temperature range. All good. So we'll plant that one there. And we will copy that across to all of these. Let's see, what else do we need to do as far as just doing some small base improvements today? I think that that's all I wanted to do right now. Let's remove this block, which will make this into one big room. They were separated as 2 mess halls because they were too big for mess halls, and they didn't have the decor needed to make them great halls, but now it's one big great hall, which also increases the morale up to 6. Which is great. So now they're getting 1 morale from here. They're getting 2 from here. They're getting 6 from here. And they're getting 6 from here. So that's pretty solid. Even our most stressed dupes would still be okay. Or they don't have the Great Hall bonus yet. So that'll take a cycle or 2 to get in. Everybody's idle, nothing to do. Nothing to do. Okay, let's queue up some work. But before we do that, I'm gonna check out our colony summary. About time. We're at 85 cycles, so we're getting close to the centennial. So let's just start from the top and see where we have gotten to so far. Turn of the century is when we hit 100 cycles. We'll get there soon. Space race we'll get to. Pay the bills was finishing a branch of the skill tree. We've actually finished all the research on the skill tree all the way up to this level. So we have to get material studies going to get any more research done. So that is a good start for sure. Next one, we're carnivore. We're at 321,000. We have 16 cycles to go. So no problem there. We'll definitely hit that. Probably hit it much earlier. Look for where we finish. Super sustainable. We're at 56,000. We still have a way to go before we can use our non-renewable resources for fuel. Construct a building outside of the initial starting biome. Some of these we'll have to do later. Totally tubular. We need to get into transit tubes. This one we can work on soon. We just have to build a few more rooms and we'll be set. This one is obviously we got to wait until we get to a year on a single colony. Oil biome we're going to be heading into soon. We got to get atmosuits set up first. We've eaten non-raw food. We've distributed oxygen through our gas vents. We have 1 toilet and 1 bed for all of our duplicants, which is good. Royal flush we just got. That was replacing all the outhouses and wash basins. Automation. We've done a lot of automation so far. Good egg. Getting a morph of a critter. We've gotten several different hatch morphs. We've gotten several different Pacu morphs. We have many more to go. And that is it for right now. We're on good progress with everything. We're going to keep going for a couple more episodes. And then hopefully the new update will be ready for us to update and play it. Like I said, we're going to have to find a spot in the map where we can add in the story trait building so that we can access it. I'm probably going to put it down pretty far. That way we actually have to work to it. But at least then we can do it without starting a whole new map. And I really like that they added that ability. It used to not have the ability to do that. Every time a new story trait came out, you had to go and start a whole new map, which is not always as fun as it would seem. I'm going to do some scaffolding here and remove this whole section. That'll give them something to chew on while I figure out our next plans. In the next episode, I definitely want to get us started working in towards Atmos suits. So I need to get a lot more refined metal in order to do that. Let's queue it up now so that they can be working on it. Because we need to not only make the Atmos suit stations and docks, we also need to make the atmosuits themselves, which take refined metal. But once we get atmosuits, we can start really going out and exploring the map out here and getting into some of these more caustic biomes and just tear them apart and get ready to get into industry. So we're going to get a atmosuit system set up, and then we're going to start exploring all the way up to space and all the way down to oil and really start speeding things up. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.